Hello, and welcome to the next video in this series of videos on Mozart's Sonata in C major, the first movement. You're joining me here today at JD Music Services in South Somerset. We specialise in piano tuition, but also offer various other services accompanying for exams, festivals, auditions, music theory tuition, all sorts of things. Do check out our website, jdmusicservices.co.uk. Today, I'm going to look at the development section of the sonata. So this is beginning in bar 29, and development goes on to bar 41, where we then enter the recapitulation. And what Mozart does here is he takes ideas from the first and second subject and plays around with them and takes us through lots and lots of different keys. And really there are two key ideas that he uses. So in the first bar, we have a kind of arpeggio pattern. So all that really is based around arpeggios. And if you like, that looks back, I guess, to the opening theme, which is a C major tonic triad. And also what we've just finished on at the end of the exposition. So when we go over the page into the development, same idea, but going into the darker major key. And then the other idea he uses in the development is scales. Which obviously relates back to the scales in the first subject. And so on. So I think he's picking up on those two ideas really and developing them, taking us through quite a lot of different keys in the process. Now, in terms of the technical requirements, you might like to go through some of the previous videos I've done on here, because a lot of the same principles apply really. So where you've got these semiquaver passages and the scales, you might want to do practicing with different rhythms. You might wish to practice pausing on certain notes. I suggested that previously. So for example, on the scales, you could practice it like that, just to give you points where you can pause and, as it were, taking what you've done and look at what's coming up. The arpeggios, you might practice rhythms, dotted rhythms, and to get them really even. Obviously also when you're first learning it, slow practice is important. On the scales you might need to think a little bit about fingering. Most of them work out okay with 1, 2, 3 thumb in the right hand. So most of them work with the normal scale finger pattern. A couple of them have black keys in them and you'll have to work out to get around those. So do work out the fingering that you're going to use. What I want to spend a bit of time talking about though is the interpretation. And I think there's quite a lot of question and answering going on here. And also I think there's places where we can bring in a little bit of echo effects. So looking at the first two bars, we've basically got the same idea, but then played down an octave. And so you'll notice I make a slight contrast with the second one a little softer. The octaves at the beginning, if you wish, just use a little bit of pedal just to get the resonance of the piano there. But then I wouldn't use any other pedal on this section because you'll lose the clarity in your semiquavers. So perhaps a slight echo there. Then we get the scales. And I think there's a bit of question and answering going on here. Left hand asks the question, and then the right hand responds. Question, answer. And so you can shape them accordingly. Build up, and then, and that last one I'm going to make a little bit stronger because that lands us on our new key of D minor. So it kind of points where we're going structurally. A little bit softer as before. So that's a point I build up to. Okay, so bars 35 and 36 we've got the question and answer. A bit more. And build up to their bar 37. And then bring it down a bit. Okay, so build up to bar 37. I think that's the climax. And then from there, it kind of comes down in steps. You could think about the chord structure that's going on, because that can help with the shaping. So bar 35, we're in D minor. Bar 36, it's E major. Then bar 37, A minor. D minor, G major. F major. So you could kind of think about the chord structure, but that A minor, I think, creates quite a lot of tension in bar 37, and it's the highest point of the melody. And then the other bars, 38 and 39, they start on a major chord, so that kind of eases the tension a bit. When you get to bar 41, there are different ways of getting back into the recapitulation. Do you want to keep it in tempo? Do you want to slightly writ? Do you just want to give the idea we've got back by placing the first note of the recapitulation carefully? Or perhaps you could do a little trick with the articulation, just detach a few notes. So we could slow down. It's with a bit of a writ. Or we could keep it in tempo. Just placing the first note. Or we could change the articulation. I'll show you what I mean. So as I go up that scale, just detaching the last three notes. I could combine that with a slight bit. And I think that's where a little bit of individual interpretation can come into the piece. I think you could play around with those different ideas there and find what works for you as a way of linking back into the recapitulation there. So, that's some ideas on the development section. The next video we will look at the recapitulation, and I'll probably deal with all of the recapitulation in one go, because a lot of what I've talked about on the exposition at the beginning will apply once again to the recapitulation, so you can watch the first few videos to get that. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, I hope you find it useful. Do feel free to leave comments. Remember to check out the website jdmusicservices.co.uk, and I will look forward to seeing you again when we look at the recapitulation. In the meantime, if there's another piece you'd like me to work on and do some tuition videos on in the future, perhaps just drop a comment in the box below so that I know, and obviously bear that in mind when